Hi, Cy and Stu here for Music Radar. Today we've got Roland's brand new VQD kit. Doesn't stand for Very Quiet Drums like I thought. It's
V-Drums Quiet Design.
That's it.
The Bjork edition.
It's oh so quiet. Very quiet. So Stu, tell us what's new. It looks a bit similar to some other stuff, but obviously these pads are completely different. What's going on?
Well, as you may or may not know, noise is the #1 enemy of drummers everywhere, really. And although electronic kits are quieter, that extends to electronic kits as well. So if you're living in an apartment or playing upstairs, or even just in a shared house where you've got walls that are kind of likely to disrupt people, noise is always going to be an issue.
Yeah, they do pick up a lot, don't they?
They do, and it's not the sound that the kit creates. Obviously, we play them most of the time on headphones. Some people use like monitor systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the big problem is the airborne noise of hitting a pad combined with the vibrations that travel through the stand into your floor.
Yeah.
Once they hit the floor joists, walls, everything.
It's all resonating.
Yeah, and I mean,
Travels.
It's a serious, or can be a serious problem. I've had it in places where I've lived before, like where it's travelled through to my neighbours, like in a terraced house, through the walls,
right,
into their sort of
living room,
whatever's on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
And so this, the idea behind everything we've got here has been completely remodeled. Roland have spent a lot of time kind of researching different materials and different ways of dissipating noise, and this is the result. They're claiming that it's around 75% quieter than regular V-drums. Right. So goodbye people hitting on the ceiling with a broomstick or whatever it is you're told to be quiet with.
Yeah. So Stu, the promo for this kit by Roland had that really cool video. They're on the mezzanine. They got a player playing on one, and he sort of flips over the other side, and then they're doing this sort of like noise balance thing, and you're kind of thinking, that's a pretty cool idea. Maybe we should do that in an independent journalistic fashion to corroborate, does it actually do what it says on the tin? So it's perfect opportunity for us to test out how the VQD goes up against a standard Roland kit. And we've got a little dB meter. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to set up the other one, play that. I'll record, and we'll measure it, and we'll see which one is, well, how much quieter it is. Because we know it will be a bit quieter, but is it that much quieter? Who knows?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. Right, Stu, Now you were in the room, you did, and it was sort of different for you, but from downstairs, that made loads of difference for me. It was almost imperceptible when you were playing on the VQD. I mean, lots of other people noticed it as well. They're like, "Oh wow, I couldn't believe that. That's the same thing." So
he's finally stopped playing.
yeah, it works. It does work, and it's a big difference.
Definitely. Yeah, it's hard for me to comment on
Yeah.
what it was like downstairs, but I mean, I have had a quick kind of listen when you were playing on it earlier on as well. Plus, we've set up our glass of Jurassic Park water to measure the vibrations in, you know, what is probably the most scientific, evaluation of this kit you're likely to see.
So let's drill into a little bit about what's happening with, say, the pads. You can see, as we're looking at the mesh, there is something going on underneath this little honeycomb structure. What's going on here? Is it rubber? Is it foam?
Yeah, well, there's a few different points across the whole kit. We'll start with the pads.
Yeah.
So visually, they look different. They still take on the same kind of form and size as your regular V-Drum style pads, but what you've got is a kind of layer of like honeycombed rubber to kind of help absorb that noise. The honeycomb as well helps dissipate the vibrations.
Yeah.
Underneath the pads, that honeycomb is kind of replicated with venting to help kind of, again, disperse the vibrations of every time you're hitting a pad and stuff. As well as that, because hitting a layer of foam may not kind of feel particularly realistic, these are capped with Roland's mesh head material. So, Roland invented the mesh head, have continued to develop it, and here we've got it on top of this kind of layered system to kind of give you the feel and also help minimize the kind of transfer of vibration through into that foam. So anyone that knows anything about kind of soundproofing and room treatment and things like that knows that kind of density, different materials, layers, all of those things combined are what you need to help kind of kill vibration. And it's the vibrations really that cause the problem. Airborne pad noise can be a problem, as we've seen on various kits that we've reviewed here with loud cymbals and stuff like that. But the bigger problem and the harder to solve problem is that vibration traveling through the structure of your building. And this is what hopefully helps to kind of minimize that. Yeah.
So elsewhere around the kit, after the pads, the frame looks like your standard sort of, V-drum frame. However, the feet are slightly different.
Yeah, so each leg of the frame is kind of mounted into these rubber cups, which decouple it from the floor. A big kind of thing that is like a homemade DIY solution for this is the kind of tennis ball platform that people make.
Where tennis ball and a half, don't you?
Where you get two layers of wood, and you cut holes in them, and you put the tennis balls in between the two layers of wood.
And they kind of.
And what you end up with is like a suspended, decoupled platform to put your kit on. It's not the most
stable.
Not always that stable, not always that good looking.
No,
it obviously depends on how far you want to go. But these kind of replicate that, so it removes those vibrations from the pads traveling through the stand and down straight into your floor. So that's the first step.
Yeah. Now there's a similar sort of thing going on with the kick tower. They've got those little cups on the four legs, don't they?
Yeah. And it's the same thing again to just stop those vibrations traveling straight through. If you've ever sat in a room, which you definitely have after today, below where an electronic kit is being played, the thing you'll hear the most are the pedals. Because it's like having someone stomp on the floor.
This is it. And then we've got further to that is that we've got these little platforms, one for the kick, one for the hi-hat control pedal there. Yeah. Which is the same deal, where they've got the little rubber feet underneath it. Cups.
So Roland have created their Noise Eater range of products for a little while now, and that's kind of a continuation of the tennis ball platform kind of thing. So, and these are the kind of latest NEQ quiet versions. There's one for the kick drum, one for the hi-hat pedal. You can mount a double pedal to these. You'd obviously need another platform to put the second bass drum pedal on there. But yeah, the idea being that it's just, stopping everything as much as possible from traveling through into the kind of material fabric of the building.
Yeah. Other thing is, the beta is, well, it's a little tennis ball. That does help as well.
Yeah, it
with
does.
the whole sound eating.
Yeah. Yeah, you haven't got that sort of plasticky thwack of it hitting the head. Mesh head on the bass drum as well.
Yeah.
To help kind of minimise the noise, but in combination with the tennis ball beater, which I think is available separately, so you could
Upgrade
add
your
that.
own. Yeah.
Yeah, but it really does make a difference. So yeah, we've just put the tennis ball beater back on the bass drum pedal, and just to show how much of a difference it makes, this is the sound within the room from the bass drum pad, which, you know, it's quite
pretty
considerable.
Yeah. The cymbal's slightly different to the pads. I mean, we've got this sort of, you know, the mesh bit as well, and there's this bigger rubber section for the kind of the big
edge sounds.
But they are completely free from the main contact point, it seems, don't they?
Yeah, they are. So, I mean, the way this is designed is the kind of like the bow edge of the cymbal is mesh and foam, same as the playing surface on the drum pad. So you've got that same kind of foam honeycomb mesh layer, venting underneath as well. And then around the edge, you've got the rubber bumper. So if we just grab a drumstick, you can hear that, you know, that's quiet.
Yeah.
Probably most noticeable on the hi-hat because you're keeping time on the hi-hat and the ride. You know, these are getting struck a lot more frequently than maybe like one or edge of the crash kind of thing every few bars. So that's where it's really noticeable, I would say. But you know, even if you're playing kind of tip and
edge,
that's quite a big difference compared to the kind of regular electronic cymbals. But yeah, it sort of follows a similar thing to the rest of the drum pads.
Something we're not too sure if it actually has any relation to sound travelling through other bits of material, but they're breakout cables. I quite like that. That's much better, isn't it? It
is. I would argue that it has nothing to do with sound travelling anywhere, but what it does have to do with is it's a lot easier to set up. We set up a lot of these kits here, and most of the time we're battling with cable snakes and trying to make the cables look nice, so that it's not a big kind of rat's nest of wires. So having these little breakout cables to hook the rest of the loom into, it's you know, simple but effective.
Very effective.
And hopefully that might become a standard on other Roland kits. It's not something that anyone said, but I like it.
Yeah, same. So there's a couple of different sort of variations you can get this kit in, basically with or without the drum brain. This one is with the TD7, and it's called the VQD106.
Yeah.
And then without it,
you get the VQD pads configuration, which is you know a kind of a no-brainer, as it were.
Very good.
But that will allow you to kind of use the VQD pads with your choice of Roland module, which is cool because you know, you may already have your preferred module that you like using, but noise is your issue, so you can, you know, now's your chance to be able to switch into that. Yeah.
Another thing it comes with is the really cool control pedal for the hi-hat that we like with the cantilever. It feels very real, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the FD9. This has been around a little while.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you look at it, it's a very purposefully kind of made thing, and it's got a real kind of like, you know, mechanical, nice solid feel when you use it, and it responds really well as well with the kind of opening and closing of the hi-hats. It's really kind of quick and sharp. So it's good
like that. In the interest of fairness, it's not all roses. There are a few little niggles that we think maybe could be a bit better. It does have a bit of a wobble to it, doesn't it?
It does, and I think that's part of the nature of what's actually happening here. Is this is essentially floating?
Yeah.
You know, it's
unavoidable.
It's stable.
Yeah.
But it does move. If you've ever played drums on a big stage or a stage with a drum riser on it, sometimes you can get the same kind of effect going on.
Yeah.
Definitely, I know when I made myself a janky tennis ball platform for my kit, it moved a little bit because it is like suspension. It's acting by by its very nature of what it's attempting to do, it is suspended. So there is that I think that's a slight kind of not really a learning curve, but a slight adjustment that you may have to kind of get used to a little bit. I think that after a week, 2 weeks or so of having this, you're probably not going to think about it anymore.
Sure.
But it is, as you can see, we can move it. Everything's done up tightly. That's moving.
But it does do the trick. There is so little noise being travelled through the floor. So
and for a lot of people, that's going to be the difference between being able to have a kit at home or having no kit at home. And, not being able to practice. So it's a huge step for Roland. And you probably, the people watching this will notice that we haven't really mentioned anything about sound, because this video isn't really about what's contained within the module. We've seen the TD716 before. It's great. It's Bluetooth, USB audio and MIDI. 25 kind of kits built into it, and
it's a coaching thing on it as well.
It's got Roland's coaching modes on it and stuff. So it's a great module. It's not the entry level module, but it's a great module, to get you going and get you playing and everything. But the real kind of leaps and bounds here are the triggering, and that is where I think more recent kits aside, Roland have really been kind of pushing their way forward with different ways of triggering stuff. And this just shows to me that they're aware of what's stopping people becoming drummers.
Listening to the market, seeing what's wrong. Like you say, it's so different. You hit that and hit the other one.
And I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah, that's so different. We love it. Okay, thanks for that, Stu. VQD, I think generally a win, and we like it. So if you've got problems back home with your noise issues, then maybe check one out. Also, don't forget to do all the liking, subscribing stuff, and hit the comments section to tell us what you think about this. Until the next time, we will see you soon. So cheers.